Hi, I'm Nick Maselli. At TD Bank, we believe all citizens need to be informed about the important financial issues that affect their daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Hackensack University Health Network, County College of Morris, connecting learning and life, New Jersey Council of County Colleges, MD Advantage Insurance Company of New Jersey, activists in cooperation with the American Medicine Chest Challenge, TD Bank, and by PSE&G, committed to improving New Jersey's economy and strengthening its communities.
This is One-on-One.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
People like laughing at others, so I don't mind if the other is me.
See, you go right into the character. That's what it is.
I'm bringing families together a half an hour each week. Man, I'm doing something special.
And so I do feel successful.
Welcome to the Tisch WNET studio here in the heart of Lincoln Center. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce for the first time here in public broadcasting, Beth Fowler, an actress who is one of the stars in a hit Netflix series called Orange is the New Black. You play Sister Jane?
Sister Jane Ingalls, yes.
And do you have any experience involved with Catholic school or nuns or anything like that?
Well, a tad.
Yes, you do?
16 years of Catholic education, and I went to Caldwell College for Women, as it was called then.
A Dominican school.
Oh, you know.
Yes, I do know these things.
But it is now Caldwell University.
Yes.
But I attended there because I intended to enter the convent in my junior year.
You were going to be a nun?
Yes, I was. And I had the charities in grade school in Jersey City, and then I had the Dominicans, and I loved them both.
You mean the Sisters of Charity? You have to explain to those who may not be in our,
right. Oh,
you know.
Sorry, yes. But I liked the costumes of the Dominicans, the white with the black, and you know.
I had to ask you something.
I didn't like that little crinkled
Will you stop with the outfit, okay?
Yes.
I have to ask you, because I tell you, my wife, Jennifer, doesn't like when I say her name, but she'll like this, because she loves your series. She got me into it. She's a serial watcher, though. She started, and that's it. Can't stop. Is that the way a lot of people are watching?
Binging.
Yeah.
It's called.
I'm not serial, but binging watchers.
Steve, it's binging.
I apologize.
This is the word.
I got it.
Yes.
Now that we found Netflix. Here's the thing. How'd they get you for the series?
Well, you know, Beth, they're doing Netflix is doing a series called Orange is the New Black. They need a nun. I said, oh, you're calling me. And it's just for the pilot in one episode, and would you go in and be, sure. So I go in, and I come out, and I meet a couple of friends for a drink before we go to a show, and I said, you know, I had to go, Canal Street, I have to go to read 3 lines, and I'll never hear them again.
All the way downtown.
Why am I, at my age, at my resume, I have to do, you know, blah, 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 blah. And a week later, it's like, I got booked. I went, oh, a pilot and an episode and play a nun? That'd be a piece of cake. That'd be fun.
She a nice nun?
That was 3 years ago.
She a nice nun?
She's a good nun.
She never does anything bad?
She's a good girl. Well, she was bad. She demonstrated once too often and embarrassed the federal government by spray painting on a federal, in a nuclear facility in the middle of the night, cut through, you know. This is based on a woman's true story.
Is this really true?
And she embarrassed the government so badly that they sentenced her this past winter, I think it's like 7 years, because she, you know, 83-year-old woman broke into one of these places and caught them with their pants down.
Why
she was an activist.
Yes.
And Piper Kerman says in the book, because our show is based on
the
wonderful, everybody should read the book. It's a short read, and it really puts everything into perspective. She had no idea that this was going to be the podium for her, for that cause that she had to raise awareness for problems within prison. But it was just extraordinary. I lost my train of thought because I
set up Orange is the New Black for those who don't know. It is based on, it's a women's prison.
Yes,
okay.
And it's set in Connecticut, in the state of Connecticut. And there are every age, color, cultural background, whatever, mix. And you're there for whatever length of time you're there for. Some are long-term, some are not, coming and going.
Why has this series, Orange is the New Black? And by the way, who do we have? Joanna, help me on this. We had one of the other stars of Orange is the New Black, who is
Coming in? Oh, yeah?
Leah Delaria.
Oh,
The best.
Another Broadway girl.
Right, and she performed, this was at our series at One-on-One at New Jersey Performing Arts Center.
Oh.
She actually performed, she sang, and she's fabulous.
Oh, she's a jazz singer.
She's
Yeah.
the best.
She sells out the Palladium.
She's the best.
That would be in London.
Yeah, I know.
Good.
Let's
I know
come
you're
back
from
to
Jersey.
you.
Sometimes you
Well, like, I don't know
get
London. What are we,
confused.
that provincial? So let's go back. You ready for this?
Yes.
Explain to folks why this series has connected with so many.
Because there are so many stories of so many women from diverse backgrounds, and they tell so many stories from so many cultural backgrounds, and each one is different. Each one is totally different. So you learn why they're there, and you see their backstories, and sometimes you don't see their backstories, not yet, but the interaction between the cultural groups and so forth. It's just...
And the whole idea, sorry for interrupting, the whole idea of Netflix, it's also fascinating to me. Because first of all, you have to order it. You have to say, I want Netflix. And a lot of people who I know are ordering Netflix because they want Orange is the New Black. It's driving people to it. Is that fascinating to you?
We increased their subscription rate by millions. I mean, like 40 million or something, because it's international. It's not the entire world, but there are many, many countries that are included in this.
Isn't that
box
fascinating?
now. It is. Nobody's more surprised than I. I mean, I'm a Broadway baby. I'm a theater person. I've done TV and film over the years, but it's not what I do. And but this is really quite unique. I know you know this streaming thing.
Yeah,
this
it
whole
is.
new technique is, and it was untried. So who knew whether people would like this? There are people who still say to me, it's really hard for me not to binge because, you know, it's there.
Binge watch.
And it's like binge watch.
Can we get more people to
With,
binge
you
watch?
know,
Do you
like,
mind if we show a clip so more people can binge watch?
Oh, sure.
All right, Orange is the New Black, all right?
Yeah.
Do you know what the clip is?
I'm not sure.
That's right, everybody does
I'm
that.
not
You know
sure.
what the
There
clip
were-
is,
they
but you're
they
being
told me a
coy.
few.
You're being coy. You know what this clip
there were
is.
3 clips.
You
and
don't know which one
And
we're
I
doing?
suggested the one that was about the
This is-
elderly.
Yeah, that's the
But,
one.
It is, okay.
Let's see, Orange is the New Black, then we'll talk about it.
Oomph.
You're good. Who were you? You were talking to whom there?
That was the guy who's in charge. Yeah, he's not the warden, but he's in charge of the
He's not a nice
services.
guy.
Actually, he's not a bad guy. He's a good guy.
Is he trying to do the right thing?
Yes, he is.
Sometimes I can't figure out who's trying to do the right thing in this.
This is what happens in Orange. I will never forget the. Can I give it away? Well,
No,
it doesn't matter.
go ahead.
Sometimes, well, we all take our arcs. My backstory showed a side of me that even I didn't know. I mean, I wasn't told that this is the story. I'm used to doing a play. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. I know what the end is. This, I don't know what the
What
end
do you mean
is.
you don't know what the end is? You see the script.
I see the script of the episode that I'm going to do.
That's it?
I did not know where I was going. I was worried when I saw the script. I said, is this what I've been playing for the whole first season? This is season 2. Genji is so smart. Because I was a nun.
That's who you're talking about now?
Genji Cohan, who is the creator.
Yes.
Who created Weeds and blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah is not really the
Blah, blah, blah,
way
but
to
we
speak
don't-
about people like
but
that.
she's great.
She's the genius.
She doesn't let you
And
know
she
where the
write-
character's going.
Well, I don't. They have a general. I don't know what they do at those desks, but they have a general plan. But they are only writing like a few episodes out. They know, but they don't know exactly what they're going to do. So this was all a surprise to me, and I was thrilled to death to see because it was so interesting. But what I was starting out to say was, for example, one of the men in the show, Healy, was that not a flip at the end of the season? When I saw it, when I read it, I went, oh, not Healy, because he was such a good guy and trying
I know
so
what you're talking
hard
about.
and being so nice to Piper and all
Yes.
that. And he really meant it. He was really genuine and all
And
that.
then,
Well,
don't
he's a
give
nice
it up.
guy.
Don't give
And
it up,
then-
because
and
some
then-
people...
Oh,
some people might be on the serial
no.
watching thing and
Okay,
not there
but
yet.
I'm not going to tell, but it's an oh no moment.
Orange is the New Black is about empathy, compassion, about relationships, about lesbian relationships. It's about
it all.
what else? It's about racism.
Gay for this day.
Gay for the.
Gay for this day. I'm learning at my age.
What?
Catholic girl. You're in prison, you have nothing, you get together with whoever's there.
Just for you there, really?
Gay for this day.
I had not heard that. That's
what
a new
they
one.
taught me, Steve, see.
Catholic school, gay for the
Yes.
stay was not part of the curriculum. I just want to clarify that. Newark, Jersey City was not in the curriculum. Just want to clarify that. Not even in Brooklyn they didn't allow that. Beth Fowler is actress in Orange is the New Black, can be seen on Netflix, whether you serial watch or not.
Yes.
My wife Jennifer has
Anyway,
good
you
taste.
can do
Not
it
only
one at a time. People do it, you know, like I watch it on Monday nights, or my husband and I have date night on Friday nights. You can do it different ways.
And you watch PBS for great educational programming, do you not?
Yes.
Just say
absolutely.
yes. Say yes.
Well, you know I do.
I know you do. Beth Fowler, thank you so much. We love having you here.
This was fun.
You honor us.
Thank you, darling.
You're great. Stay there. We'll be right back right after this.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We are honored to welcome Eileen Rockefeller, who is the author of a book called Being a Rockefeller, Becoming Myself. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Steve. It's a pleasure.
Let's put things in perspective. You grew up a Rockefeller. You are a Rockefeller.
I am.
The daughter of?
David Rockefeller, the CEO and former CEO and chairman of Chase Manhattan Bank.
6 kids.
And also of Peggy Rockefeller, who's no longer living, but a very important force in my life.
There were 6 kids. You were the youngest.
Yes.
22 cousins.
Yes.
But what's fascinating in the book is you say that at times you felt somewhat alone.
Well, I was the youngest by 3 years, and of 5 older siblings, and the 4 in the middle were kind of a tribe unto themselves. And so it was hard to fit in, to feel like I belonged. But I think, as is true for so many of us, whatever the struggles we have as children, we can turn them into the strengths in the work that we do in the world. So for me, the feeling of isolation and loneliness became the great driver for me to be a connector and a catalyst of other people coming together. So that has really been a driving force in my own life, and has caused me to meet many interesting people. Such as Norman Cousins.
We're just talking about.
Yes.
Tell folks who may not know.
Well, Norman Cousins was the editor of Saturday Review for 35 years and was best known, interestingly, for his book called Anatomy of an Illness, as viewed by the patient, which received a lot of criticism in the 1980s from the medical establishment. But I thought it was really important that his interest in the effect of laughter and vitamin C on the healing process be researched further. And to start an institute around one person is too narrow. So what I did was to find the leaders of the field that was in the making but not yet made. And actually, the Institute for the Advancement of Health, which I founded in 1983, was one of the pioneering organizations to help form the field of mind-body health.
And the message in this book, I mean, some people might say, wow, you grew up so privileged, a Rockefeller. Money was no problem. You grow up here, and we are in the shadow of Rockefeller Center.
Yes.
This is, Rockefeller dim, if you will. Come on. And you say, money's not everything.
Well, it's easy to say money's not everything. Of course we need money to put a roof over our heads and feed ourselves and our children. But the real richness in life comes not from money and the abundance of money. It's the abundance of love. It's the connection that we have to ourselves and each other that really makes the difference. And I guess another message I would say for this book is that it really doesn't matter which family we come from. We all have the universal quest of becoming ourselves. And until we do know something of who we are, we can't live fully into our potential to find meaning in service of our lives.
At your first book signing, one of your first book signings.
Yes.
Your father.
He was there.
How old?
The very first. He was then 98. He's now 99.
He was there. We're looking at a picture right there.
Oh, that's so nice. That was when he was 95. He still drives a pair of horses. I went out with him just the other day.
What was it like for you when he was there at your first book signing?
Oh, it was very touching. He was often away on business trips when I was growing up, so he missed most of the school plays or graduations. But to have him here at what is the graduation into myself as is probably the greatest time he could be with me.
The things that matter most to you right now in terms of becoming yourself and making the contributions that you are making right now, some of those things that matter most to you are?
Family first. I'm very close to my family of origin, as well as, of course, the children that I've raised with my husband. And secondly, the family of life. Oh, those are
people you know?
Those are people I know, yes. And
your family?
My family.
Family first. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Family
I interrupted.
first.
Sorry.
Well, it's a little emotional. I lost my next of kin brother in June. He's not in that picture. But it's just a reminder of how important family is. And then, you know, in addition, it's the family of life. I care so deeply that we all take our responsibility for preserving this earth for the generations that deserve to come after us. So my husband's work and mine together philanthropically is helping to stem climate change through reducing coal and CO2 in the atmosphere. And we've actually given the catalytic grant in this country to Sierra Club that helped remove from ever being built 183 out of 200 proposed coal plants since 2007.
It's important work.
It is.
It's helped you become more of yourself.
Yes, I'm using my passions in the work that I do in the world. And my passions have always been broadly about connections, more specifically about family, the family that I wanted to belong to, that I now know I do belong to, and the family that I gave birth to. And we're a very close family. We work together on our family fund as well.
Nature means a great deal to you.
Nature is where it's at. I think the universal binding force in my extended family has been beauty, and whether it's beauty of man-made, human-made objects, but beauty in nature is special because there are no judges in nature. And so when you take a walk in the woods, you don't really hear the leaves whispering, you should be working harder, do you?
No. No.
Yeah.
Cabin in Maine.
Oh, yes, we built that when I was in my early teens, and we still have it on a family island.
To date, you've lived a fascinating life, and you have much more to do and to be, right?
I sure hope so.
You mind if I plug? Mind if I
no,
let people know?
I'd be delighted.
By the way, your publisher is?
It's Blue Rider of Penguin. Penguin Random House now.
The name of the book is Being a Rockefeller, Becoming Myself, a memoir. Eileen Rockefeller. You honor us by joining us at Public Broadcasting in our Tisch WNET studio here in the heart of Lincoln Center. We wish you nothing but the best.
Oh, thank you so much.
You've inspired a lot of people by sharing your story. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this.
Great.
Thank you so much.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
Dr. Jim Gandre is the president of the Manhattan School of Music. Good to see you, Jim.
Good to see you. It's a pleasure being here, Steve.
Well, it's an honor to have you. The school's been around since 1918, celebrating the centennial in 2018. Is that right?
That's correct. We started as a settlement music house on East 105th Street. And then in 1969, after starting degree programs in the 40s, we moved to our current location, which is in Morningside Heights on 122nd and Broadway.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a look at this fascinating institution that's been around for almost 100 years and still making a difference in the lives of so many young people interested in music. Let's take a look.
What do you know about opera? Yes.
This is an instrument that I really fell in love with.
You go like this.
That's impressive, Jim. Describe what we were saying.
Sure, it's a montage of various things that we do at the school. So one was our Carnegie Hall concert with Leonard Slatkin last spring. Another was Pinka Zuckerman, one of our great violin teachers, teaching a distance education.
Distance education?
Yeah.
Explain that.
So what he did is we started our distance learning program in the early 90s when Pinkus came to us with this idea that he would want to teach, but he couldn't teach in person, which is the traditional way to go, while he was touring. And so he had this idea of distance education, and he teaches his lessons from Ottawa, where he is the music director there of the orchestra, and all over the world. So he has a stable of students, of 5, 6, 7 students every year, and he teaches them from wherever he is in the world.
So you wind up taking advantage of these extraordinary artists from around the world, but staying very modern, up to date, taking advantage of technology, right?
And we've actually explored and gone further with that now, so we are actually teaching fractions, for instance, math, to kids in Alaska and Scotland. We're teaching world music, as you saw in that clip, to kids in Nebraska. We're using it far beyond what the original purpose was.
Jim, who are the kids, the young people who are in the school, and what are you trying to accomplish with them?
So, for instance, this last year in the spring, we auditioned 2,700 kids to come to the school for 450 slots. And we have about 900 students, about half graduate, half undergraduate. And they come from more than 50 countries and almost every state to study with the members of the New York Philharmonic, with the members of the Metropolitan Opera, Orpheus Chamber Orchestra, etc., Jazz at Lincoln Center artists. And they come here to hone their craft and to become great musicians. And a lot of them do that. Our alumni include people like Susan Graham of the Metropolitan Opera, Anthony Roth Costanza, who was in that clip in an elementary school in the Bronx. Showing off opera singing to kids, to Jason Moran, who runs the Kennedy Center Jazz Program, and Jane Monheit, the Grammy-nominated singer. So there's a whole plethora of great people who came through the school. And then there's also the administrators, like the head of the New World Symphony in Miami, or the head of Opera Columbus, who are our graduates as well.
What's interesting, you're a nonprofit.
Yes.
Your background in music.
As a singer, right.
Do you ever say to yourself, hey, wait a minute, I'm a performer, I'm a singer. I love the arts, but I spend so much of my time as a business person raising money. You're shaking your head because I asked myself the same question, right? We, have an art form, but you have a great art form, right? We raise money. We run a business.
Yep.
Does that bother you? Or do you say, hey, that's the price we pay, it's what we do to do the art?
Yeah, but it's also exciting. I actually like that part of it.
You like the fundraising?
I do.
You should come to PBS. you like the fundraising.
I actually like to talk to people and get them excited about the art form, get them excited about the students. There is nothing better than I can imagine being in a school and working with this particular age group of students, 18 to 25-year-olds who are right on the cusp. They're burning with desire. They're so much fun to be around. And for me to give that and show that to a potential donor who gets then excited and wants to be a part of that, I mean, what's better than that?
As I'm listening to you, I'm reminded of the fact that there's an art form in doing what you're talking about. And getting people passionate. Taking your passion and enthusiasm and commitment to these kids and then communicating that to others who can support these young people and help them live their dreams through your school.
Exactly. And some of them, as I say, go onto the stages of the Met and the New York Philharmonic and all the great orchestras of America and the world. You can find almost always a member of our alumni body there. And then others go on to become teachers and professors and heads of community music schools.
How about the entrepreneurship? Paul, what's it called again? The Center for
Musical Entrepreneurship.
Center for Entrepreneurship. What does entrepreneurship have to do with learning about music?
Well, in this day and age, when the arts are changing so rapidly, if we don't help our kids learn how to navigate or to find their way in an ever-changing landscape, we're negligent at what we're doing. And so we were actually one of the first schools to have a career planning office when no one else thought that was important because art should speak for itself. But we thought kids have to actually know how to sell themselves so they can become great performers. So this is an outgrowth of that original office, and it covers everything from taxes to copyright to very practical things, but then it also brings in other people who have done terrific work like for instance, our graduates founded Le Poisson Rouge here in New York City. That's something that never had been done.
Which is about marketing and branding and promotion and building a business. Before I let you go, 2018 will represent the
100th anniversary of the school.
Real quick, what's going to happen that year?
We're going to have the biggest blowout of the celebration of this institution and its great history. And, well, it's also time for reflection and looking back and making sure that we're on the cutting edge again. So it's not just the Center for Music Entrepreneurship or distance learning, but what's the next thing?
That's good stuff. Dr. Jim Gandre, Gandre,
right.
Who is the president of the Manhattan School of Music, the legendary Manhattan School of Music. Jim, I want to thank you for joining us, and we wish you nothing but the best in your Centennial 2018. It's going to be very exciting, and we look forward. Hey, do this. When you come back for 2018, you said it's going to be a big blowout. Come back to our Lincoln Center studio. We are part of the arts community here in New York City, and you can celebrate with us. Is that a deal?
Great. It's a deal.
Let's make sure you do that, okay?
Great. Thanks, Steve.
That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it will be.
Okay. There'll be fireworks, there'll be music, there'll be performance right here in the studio.
Okay.
Okay. That's a deal. You heard it from Jim Gandre right here. That'll be good.
Thanks.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Hackensack University Health Network, County College of Morris, New Jersey Council of County Colleges, MD Advantage, activists in cooperation with the American Medicine Chest Challenge, TD Bank, and by PSE&G. Promotional support provided by Commerce Magazine and by New Jersey Monthly, the magazine of the Garden State, available at newsstands. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
New Jersey is a leader in solar power, and PSE&G is doing its part. With 24 solar installations in New Jersey, projects that are giving landfills new purpose and turning former brownfields green. Solar powers more than our homes and schools and businesses. It powers our economy by creating jobs right here in the Garden State. PSE&G, proud to support New Jersey.